Every serious analyst out there, including the Social Security trustees, the Social Security actuary, the Congressional Budget Office, says there are going to be cuts to your Social Security check in the next few years. This is across the board. According to the law, there is no grandfathered in as well. They won't cut my check because I'm currently receiving. No, the law is that if there's only X amount of money coming in to FICA taxes, only that amount goes out. So if only 75% comes in, then only 75% goes out, and therefore everybody across the board is going to get a 25% cut. As of right now, we're looking at 2034 about a 21%. I think that's going to come down a little bit in terms of, it might be a bit sooner, 2033, and unfortunately the cut is going to go up a little bit. If the next president gets some of the things that he wants to do, there are going to be more cuts. Unfortunately, they're going to be sooner. I've got all the analyses of all the different agencies and think tanks in my YouTube description. So please check that out. But we need to be serious. Basically, we need to be serious about saving Social Security and make sure it's here for the future, to make sure we don't get cuts in the future. A lot of people, 40% of people out there depend on Social Security only. That is their only income. And we need serious people. Where do we need serious people? We need serious people in Congress. Those are the people that are going to solve or not solve this issue. So we've got 435 House of Representatives, we've got 100 senators, and we got the president. So basically, a handful of people have your checks in the palm of their hand. And unfortunately, I'm seeing this way, way too often. We've got this congressperson out of Louisiana, Clay Higgins, that basically doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. So I'm going to educate him today. And he is trying to, as he either doesn't have a clue what he's talking about, or he knows exactly what he's talking about. And his attempt is to destroy Social Security, make the customer service worse. He says that he's going to actually, he wants to improve customer service and help the elderly. But I'm going to show you this video here, and actually I'm going to talk about it at the end of the video. And what he's attempting to do actually will have the opposite effect of reducing customer service, making it even worse than it is. And the ultimate goal, I would argue, is to destroy Social Security and give it over to the oligarchy, the Wall Street billionaires. There's already some proposals out there from another congressperson from his state, Louisiana. It seems like Louisiana seems to be the center of the future destruction of Social Security. So, all right, so let me go ahead and show this video, and let's talk about it on the other side. So this is Clay Higgins, representative from Louisiana. And this is he is doing the Social Security commissioner, the one that just resigned. He is testifying in front of Congress about customer service, and we all know customer service is an issue. But let's see how he addresses the issue.
Mr. Chairman, this is Social Security for 1 hour, 28 minutes, 25 seconds. Phone number 800-772-1213. It's a number for Social Security. This is what our elders have to listen to. These are our elders, my man.
I agree.
Yes, sir.
The reason they're calling, when I have a question for you, I'll ask it. That's the way this works. The reason our elders call for help is because they need help, not because they won't listen to elevator music. They want to talk to a human being. Listen to this, America. Pay attention to what's happening to our elders. If you need in-person help, you must first make an appointment. Now you make the appointment on the telephone. You know who answers the phone? Nobody. All of our offices.
All right. So he's 100% true, 100% correct. That, yes, if you call Social Security, they don't pick up the phone. But his solution, that's the issue. So rather than actually solving the issue, he's going to make it political for another purpose. And I'll talk about that in a bit here.
And work so hard to care for our elders, and the number one complaint is that they can't get any answers or even anybody on the phone at Social Security. It's a mischaracterization of our position, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ranking Member, to say that we have a problem, that Republican conservatives and fiscal hawks like me have a problem with the federal employees. We have a problem with federal employees failing to perform, and we associate the failure to perform with realities that we face. You want to talk to us in person, get an appointment. We get an appointment, make a phone call, we don't answer the phone. That failure to perform is the issue, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ranking Member. That's our issue with the federal government employees. And we associate it with not showing up for work through telework. So let me say that those federal employees that do not show up for work, they're going to get fired.
All right, there you go. So as soon as I heard this, I thought the old Simpsons thing. It's like, stop punching
Mr.
yourself in the
Chairman,
face. Stop punching yourself in the face.
this,
So this is
this is so.
basically what. Let me end this here. So, okay, so he is wrong on so many levels. Okay, if you want to end telework for Social Security, okay, fine, no problem. Okay, whatever the case may be. If you don't know, my name is Ed Weir. This is also a live Q&A. After I finish talking about this, I only talked about this for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to get into the live Q&A to help make sure y'all are getting all the benefits you're eligible for. Yeah. So he is talking about the teleworking, and he said the reason people are not picking up the phone is because of telework. And I am here to speak on behalf of the 55,000 Social Security employees, which right now, as you can see this chart, numbers speak for themselves. Social Security is at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. But look at how many people are retiring. There's this thing called the baby boomers. So you got more people retiring and you got less people helping them. And who is the fault of that? Resources from Congress, from this particular person right here. He actually just gave $20 billion to retired government, a very, very small number of retired government employees, $20 billion a year for political purposes, 100% political purposes. And if he would have just given a percentage of that to the Social Security so they could actually hire people, whether they're telework or not, that's not the issue. I'll talk about why telework is not really an issue. If he just gave part of that to Social Security so they actually could hire people to answer the phones, that would be the solution. But he decides to go ahead and make it political by talking about telework. Okay, here's the issue with telework. I ran the third business Social Security office in the country. So the whole telework thing is just a misdirection. It's a red herring that he is attempting to do to, eventually, kill Social Security and give it over to the Wall Street billionaires, his supporters. All right. So, hey, if you need help with Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements, Part D plans, make sure you reach out to my partners at Chapter Medicare. I looked for a place that would help y'all out, and Chapter Medicare knocked it out of the park. They've got excellent customer service. They look at every single plan in your area, and their help is always 100% free. Give them a call and they'll see if they can help you out, and tell them Dr. Ed said hi. Every day at Social Security, me and my staff, what we did, me and my supervisors, we came up with a schedule for the day. Okay, you're on the phones. I, at my desk and supervisor's desk, they can see who's answering the phones and who's not. It doesn't matter whether the person on the phones is right next in the next desk or whether that person is at home 10 miles away. It has zero relevance whatsoever. You're not answering the phones. Hey, why aren't you on the phone? Oh, I'm taking my break. Okay, all right. You're taking your 15-minute break in the morning, 15 making a break in the afternoon, only 30 minutes for lunch, and then obviously the day is extended to get the full 8 hours. So yeah, right there, you're monitoring. It doesn't matter whether they're teleworking or not. If you want people to return to work, that's fine. Or return again. This is not about returning to work. They are working. They're just not working in the cubicle next to you. They're working down the line. In terms of appointments, every day, every office throughout the country, they set appointments. You call up and you want to file for disability. That employee, that claim specialist, has 6, 7, 8 disability claims to take that day. It doesn't matter whether they're in the cubicle next to you or their house 10 miles away. They have to take those disability claims. If it's a retirement, survivor's day, they're taking SSI, whatever they're taking, they have a set of appointments every single day that they have to take. If they don't take them, then that's an issue. That's easily managed. Doesn't matter whether they're right next to them or 10 miles down the street. So telework means nothing about customer service. Actually, if you want to end telework, it's actually going to reduce customer service. It's going to make it worse. Why? 55,000 these employees are already strapped out. They're at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. They've got too much to do. They got the baby boomers coming up, and they're just people leaving the agency left and right. Some people, the only reason they're there is because they're allowed to telework. They moved or something like that. If you force them to go back in the office, they'll say, "Okay, well, yeah, that was the nail in the coffin. I'm out of here." And that's actually going to reduce the workforce even worse. and therefore customer service is going to get worse as well. And I would argue that's probably the intent of this person. So he's trying to make a political point by, you need to return to work. These people are working. They can't fight back because they're not supposed to talk politics, but I'm retired, so I'm going to stand up to Clay Higgins for the 55,000 Social Security employees. They are working. They're just working from home. If you force them to go back to work, fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. But understand that's just going to reduce customer service and it's not going to solve it. So you're just giving a misdirection. You know, politicians love that misdirection. Oh, the reason customer service is so bad is because, they're not at work, which is 100% incorrect. They are working. They just happen to be teleworking, and they're fully monitored. We've got systems, to track everything exactly how many appointments they're taking, whether they took their appointments, whether they're answering the phones. So that is not an issue. So again, he just gave $20 billion to a very few retired government employees for political reasons. He should have gave that to Social Security so they could actually hire people. But the problem is, well, one of the problems, if you give Social Security that money to hire people, customer service is actually going to get worse for 6 months to a year because it takes a long time to train someone. They're in training pretty much 40 hours a week for about 3 months, and then their claims are reviewed 100% for about 6 months to a year after that. So unfortunately, we need to get hiring people at Social Security immediately, if not sooner, if we actually want to improve customer service. But I would argue that he is just like a typical, kind of a CEO that says, if you don't give me these tax breaks, then I'm gonna have to fire all the workers. Think about my workers. Think about the employees. Think about the workers. Think about the children. So give me these tax breaks, and then they get the tax breaks. And what do they do the next day they after they get the tax breaks? They close down the factory and send it to Mexico or China, whatever the case may be. So this is the situation that it just misdirection and say it's all about telework, but it's not. He just wants to destroy customer service. There's a lot of, out there behind supposedly supporting elders, but he's not supporting elders. He is trying to diminish customer service. And this is a long time strategy. I've talked several times about this in my videos about this, a long-term strategy. They've tried to privatize Social Security in 2005 under President Bush. They were unsuccessful. So they knew they needed a long-term PR campaign to make people hate Social Security. And how do you hate Social Security? Well, you you have to sit on phone for 3 hours. And so if we give up to it, if we buy, this plan that they're doing, then they win. But if we say, wait a second, I know why they're not picking up the phone is because they don't have anybody on the other side of the phone to pick up the phone. So you reach out to your politicians and say, hey, what are you doing to support the customer service in my local office? And what are you doing to make sure I don't get cuts in the future? Because we've only got a handful of people that are going to decide this. And this is the time to activate and get these people to actually support Social Security rather than doing all this political